In the beginning there was nothing, a void, an abyss, and then there was light. This light was the spark of creation, the first act in the grand story told in the book of Genesis. From this light sprang forth the universe, galaxies swirling in the cosmic dance of creation. Next came the earth, a blue and green gem set against the velvet black of space. Upon this earth, life began to stir, first as simple organisms in the primordial seas, then evolving into a dazzling array of creatures, each more intricate than the last. But it was the creation of man and woman that marked a turning point. These beings, unlike any other, were bestowed with consciousness, with the ability to think, to feel, to dream. They were given the responsibility to care for this vibrant world, a role both profound and challenging. And so, in a span of 6 days, an empty canvas was filled with life, color, and diversity. In a paradise there was a tree of knowledge that held a promise and a peril. This is where our tale of the fall of man begins. In this lush haven called Eden, two beings of unique creation, Adam and Eve, dwelt in perfect harmony with nature. They were free to enjoy every bounty, every pleasure, save for one: the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This was the one commandment they were given, a single stipulation to their otherwise boundless freedom. Enter the serpent, a creature shrewd and cunning. It beguiled Eve, twisting the truth of God's command, sowing seeds of doubt and curiosity. The serpent whispered sweetly of the fruit's power to bestow wisdom, to make them like God. Temptation took root and blossomed into disobedience. Eve, ensnared by the serpent's words, took a bite of the forbidden fruit and shared it with Adam. This singular act, this first defiance of divine decree, marked the fall of man. The once harmonious bond between humanity and the divine was shattered. Adam and Eve, suddenly aware of their nakedness, felt shame. They hid from God, but one cannot hide from the all-seeing. God found them, their guilt laid bare. The consequences of their actions were severe. The serpent was cursed to crawl on its belly, and enmity was placed between it and mankind. Eve was told of the great pains she would bear in childbirth, and Adam was condemned to a life of toil and sweat, working the earth from which he was formed. This story, this first act of disobedience, reverberates through time, casting long shadows on the human condition. It marks the birth of sin, the understanding of right and wrong, and the painful awareness of our own imperfections. Through one act of disobedience, the paradise was lost. But was it the end, or just a beginning of another journey? This, dear listeners, is the paradox of the fall of man. The loss of paradise, but perhaps the gain of something equally profound. A tale as old as time, and yet forever new. In the midst of despair, a ray of hope emerged, a promise of redemption, and a journey towards it. The story of Genesis is not just about the dawn of creation or the fall of man. It is also a tale of redemption, a narrative of hope that begins in the very heart of despair. In the aftermath of their fall, Adam and Eve were not abandoned to their fate. Instead, they were given a promise, a beacon of hope that would guide them and their descendants towards redemption. God's promise to Adam and Eve was not just an assurance of forgiveness. It was a pledge that despite their fall, they and their descendants would have the opportunity to rise again. This promise of redemption is a cornerstone of the Genesis narrative, a thread that weaves through the tapestry of human history, shaping our understanding of mercy, love, and the potential for renewal. Redemption, as portrayed in Genesis, is a journey, a process. It's not simply about erasing past mistakes or wiping the slate clean. It's about learning, growing, and striving for better, inspired by the promise of a brighter future. It's about understanding that even in our darkest moments, we are not alone. For in the heart of the Genesis narrative, we find a God who loves mankind, a God who, despite our flaws and failures, offers us a path to redemption. This recurring theme of God's mercy and love for mankind is a powerful testament to the transformative power of redemption. It reminds us that no matter how far we fall, no matter how profound our mistakes, there is always a way back. There is always a chance for redemption, a chance to rise from the ashes of our past and embrace a future filled with hope and promise. The Genesis narrative, in essence, is a story of beginnings and endings, of falls and redemptions. It is a story that reflects our own human journey, with all its challenges, triumphs, and transformations. From the ashes of a fallen paradise, a seed of hope was sown, a promise of redemption that echoes throughout the tapestry of human history. Genesis, a story of creation, fall, and redemption, holds many lessons for us. It is not just a chronicle of the dawn of time, but a mirror reflecting our own journeys. Its themes of creation and destruction, temptation and consequence, promise and fulfillment, resonate deeply within our lives today. In the narrative of Genesis, we see the blueprint of our own struggles and triumphs. The fall of Adam and Eve echoes in our own missteps and regrets. Yet, in their story, we also find hope and redemption, reminding us that it's never too late to seek forgiveness and make a fresh start. Genesis teaches us about the power of faith, the importance of obedience, and the promise of a better tomorrow. It encourages us to strive, to grow, and to never lose sight of the divine promise. In the words of Genesis, we find not just the beginning of our story, but also the essence of our journey. A journey of learning, falling, rising, and striving for redemption.